Okay, I am live. And I am live. Oh, let me live a second. Okay. Hello, hello. And I am live. Hello, hello, hello. Today we're just gonna do a little tasting on. This is a really full bag, so I'm trying to pull it without popping it because there's no scissors inside. There it is. Today we're going to do a tasting. Interesting smell coming up. All right, there it is. Okay. Today we're going to do a tasting of a tea that is Gold Mountain tea. Speak of the devil. So this is a tea that's my personal daily drinker, and this is actually a tea that Gold Mountain Tea sells. Basically, not too long ago, Gold Mountain Tea reached out to me, needing some help, looking for Feng. Gold Mountain Tea gave me some of the flavor notes he was interested in. Just what kind of flavor he was looking for. It gave me a price point. And I went to the people who make the 100% handmade Shishian, and it was funny because I was like, oh, nice, great. So it was funny because I was like, hey, let's drink some tea. And before even saying anything, they put down this tea, and I tasted it, and it was good, and it was in the price range, and it was perfect. And from my understanding, a lot of people are liking it, actually, from Gold Mountain Tea side. And I like it. I bought some for myself. I drink it myself. It's good. That was a bit of a dirty glass. So what we're going to drink today is not the same thing as what Gold Mountain Tea sells. It is a similar picking, but it is in the same general category of what Gold Mountain Tea sells. I'm really excited. Other exciting news, a couple of days ago, I tried a Feng where I said the shape was very surprising. And there is going to be a new Feng on my website. Unless there's anybody else that needs a decent Feng, because I do think other people. Anyway, there's going to be a new Feng on my website, and it's the Feng I tried the other day, where the look surprised me. It was the one where when I looked at it, I was like, this is not going to be that good. And then I tried it, and I was like, wait a minute, actually. So my coworker confirmed that there was 1 pound left. There was 1 pound left of this tea. And I was like, perfect, that's all I need. Just so warm and just like vegetal, but like soft, warm vegetal. A little bit of like, what is that aroma? Actually, Gold Mountain Tea. Well, Gold Mountain Tea, what time is it over there for you? Gold Mountain Tea, if you want to get on a tasting together right now, are you able to break out yours and we can do a little side by side, or do a little joint together? Oh my God, what does that smell? Orchids. There's, what does that smell? I know this smell. Hell yeah. Oh, this is gonna be exciting. Okay. Let's do it. So Gold Mountain Tea and so I'm gonna just yeah, hell yeah. Gold Mountain Tea and I are gonna taste this tea together. This is a tea for those of you just joining. This is a tea, yeah. Don't know, I'm smelling it. It's gonna be hard to wait. This is a tea that Gold Mountain Tea sells that I helped him get. I was the middleman for him. I'm gonna go on a quick little tangent as he gets ready. There have been a few people who have asked me to to do this, to source teas, to find a Malfung for them. Um, and my first question is always going to be, what's your price point? And this question throws a lot of people off. And I've 2 or 3 times, this is where the conversation has ended. Basically, or the answer to this question made me realize they weren't going to get anything. They weren't going to like anything I showed them. Because I think people get very touchy, very, very, it almost like the automatic response people want to give is, if it's good, I'll pay anything. Yeah, that's it's that sort of like this little bit of an ego thing comes in. That's whenever I hear that, if it's good, I'll pay anything. I'll pay anything for good tea. I'm always just like, oh, no, you won't. No, you won't, because I know what comes next. I always know what comes next after that. And because here's the thing, and then because then what happens next is I'm like, okay, and I show them a tea that I paid $100 for, so they would have to pay, I don't know, 150, 100. I haven't figured out my markups yet. I don't have official markups yet, but I paid $100, so they would have to pay more than that, even if only by a little. And they're like, that's too much, yada yada yada. I'm like, yes, this is why I asked you, how much are you willing to pay? And the interesting thing, and this is where I think they don't understand, is when I ask, how much are you looking to pay, I'm actually not asking about quality. I'm not asking you how good of a Malfung do you want? Because what you're going to see, and what we see here, this tea is a great price. And for this tea, I did get the old customer discount. This is the people who make the 100% handmade Malfung. They were the first tea shop I walked into in Twinshi. My first week in Twinshi, I went to a tea shop. And they were the first shop I went into. And so I got the old customer discount. But basically, price, for people who are looking to buy wholesale, and I think it's a little more directed toward people with a company and who want to sell tea. When I ask you, if you ever reach out for Malfung, how much do you want to pay? I'm not asking how good you want your Malfung to be, because the one I'm going to add to the website is good and it's real fucking cheap. It's really, really, it's going to be the second cheapest tea on the website, but it's good. I know enough people by now, for at least Malfung, I know enough people, enough makers, enough this, enough that I can find quality in a price point. And I think that's another very interesting thing to think about, this relationship between quality and price, where quality is almost based on price in a way. The tea the other day that I'm going to add to the website, you drink it. If you drink it and you're told it costs $200 a pound, you're going to be like, what? This tea is terrible. But if you're told it costs $10 a pound, you're going to be like, oh my God, this tea is amazing. And, price, there's a piece of price that is how much you're getting for what you paid for. And that's a very similar thing when I talk about, reference points. The way you think about a first pick Malfung is not the way you need to think about a late pick, the final pick of Malfung. If you give me a final pick Malfung and I treat it like a first pick Malfung, I'm going to be like, this is a bad tea. But if you tell me it's a final pick Malfung, I'm going to be like, okay, actually, for what this is pretty good. This is pretty good. This is so tempting. I was not expecting him to be 3 minutes. Okay. Okay, I think I might have to dump this. We are past code. By the way, you guys, you're about to meet the most handsome motherfucking tea seller I've ever seen. This Gold Mountain tea guy is so motherfucking handsome, it's crazy. He's the most motherfucking handsome tea seller I've ever seen. Handsome. All right. So yeah, so the new Feng is going to hit the website soon. Chashan samplers are going to be updated. That's today. I'm looking into packaging today. I have an idea for packaging. I need to look at price. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. Reference points. I watched the whole. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched part of. Reference points are very, very important. And actually going back to that price thing, where the conversation gets really interesting is when you're talking about high prices. The other day, a while ago, somebody asked me if I thought tea drunks prices were worth it. And my answer basically was, he asked me if tea drunks prices were worth it. And I told him or her, I forget who it was, I said, that's a very personal question. Because sometimes, so for example, I do think tea drunk across the board has some of the best teas consistently. Maybe this company has a better Yilangshan. This company has a better Shopu. You might have companies that have like one or two teas that are better, but consistently, with the most consistent quality in a catalog, I think tea drunk is the best consistency of quality. But they're also one of the most expensive. And someone asked me, is it worth it? And my answer basically was, that's up to you, because especially when you get to higher quality, the difference between low quality and medium quality is huge. Like low quality is just disgusting, and medium quality is good. Medium to high quality, it's bigger. It's big, but it's not as big as low to medium. But when we start talking about, we'll finish this conversation later. When we start talking about high quality to really high quality, that is a very small difference. Very, very unique, very fine. And whether or not you want to pay the money is up to you. Okay. The request has been sent. I think I added it. I hear him and I see him, kind of.
Hey, man.
Hello.
Good to see you.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Pretty good. What time is it over there?
It's 9 p.m. right now.
Okay. It's weird. I'm looking out. I'm seeing sunshine. I'm looking at you. I'm seeing nighttime.
Yeah, maybe I should try to find a place with a little better lighting. Let me go in the back, actually.
Yeah, because I can't even see your face. It's very like college.
Back of my house.
Yeah, it's very like college indie film.
If that doesn't work, we'll do it another time.
I mean, I can hear your voice. I can see you.
All right, that's good.
Hey. There it is. There's the handsome man.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Yeah. How's it there in China today?
Cloudy. It poured the last week. So, but yeah.
Doesn't sound too bad.
It could be worse. It could be better, but it could be worse. It could be worse.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, let me, I'll rejoin after because I got my teaware right here. I'll bring it to the back and then I'll join again.
Cool, yeah. Join up when you're completely ready.
All right, thanks, man.
Cool. All right, so he's going to be back in a few minutes. We're going to jump on that live. We're going to taste the Feng that is on his website. But it's been my constant drinker. But yeah, that the high quality, because like I was saying, the difference between like high quality and really high quality, that's when you start getting little things. This one aroma, this one cleanliness, this one liveliness, and that's And the problem with that is that's also when you're starting to see price jumps. You know, a high quality might be 15, a really high quality might be 25. But especially if it's for tea you don't drink a lot, that difference might be pretty small. You know, if it's a tea you drink a lot, you're gonna be like, yeah, I can two completely different teas. You know, you give me two Fengs that are, you know, a little different, and I'm gonna see that difference because I drink Feng all the time. But maybe if you give me, if honestly for shopu or Taiwanese teas, if you give me a $15 shopu and a $20 shopu, or let's say a $45 shopu and a $50 shopu. Where I'm at with my shopu palette, I don't know if I would get excited about that. Yeah, we're not even talking about markets right now. That market is something. As I look into Hokui, the market effect on price is you can't have a conversation about Hokui pricing without talking about market. I'm good, Luke Waynes. How are you? I assume you're here for me and you're not here for Gold Mountain Tea. If you are, Gold Mountain Tea will be back in a second. You can't have a price about Hokui and not talk about the Hokui market because Hokui, you know, the tea seller here who I gotta go see. I keep forgetting. I'll go see him today. A tea seller here, both. Okay, that's good. Makes you feel a little bit better. A tea seller here once called Hokui the Louis Vuitton of teas. You know, in the sense that people will buy Hokui because of the brand, because of the shape, and almost because it's a high price. There's that little bit of like, because remember, a lot of China is still gift giving teas. So if a tea has a high price, you want to buy it as a gift, so that when the person receives it, they know it's a high price. You know, it's like getting a Chanel bag. Even if you've never had a Chanel bag before and you don't care for Chanel, someone gives you a Chanel bag, you're like, whoa, you spent money on this. This is a Chanel bag. And Hokui is like that. Tia Kuan Yin is the opposite, where Tia Kuan Yin, the price just fucking bottom out. The market is, yeah. I think, am I getting another? Okay, I'm getting another. Here we go. Bam. I think that's how you do this. Go live. Okay, that's how you do it. I see. That's how you do it. Okay. All right. Boom, boom, boom. So, all right. So, my first question, let's jump right into this. My first question is, what's going to be your brewing style today?
Say that again?
What is your brewing style today? Are you doing, it looks like you're doing Gaiwan?
Well, I had been brewing it in a Gaiwan, but I want to go pitcher style with you.
Okay. I'll be interested in Gaiwan too.
You sent me one called Feng Twin.
Yeah.
And that one was the best when I brewed it in the pitcher with like a large amount of leaf. So I want to do the same thing.
Awesome.
Today
with that.
This team needs a name with my website, by the way.
I think that's up to you, man. I think. I mean, when you name your teas, do you like to give them names? Do you like to give them like information as the name? What's your?
Sometimes I give them like a name.
Yeah.
Other times, and the thing is, I like to make it like based off the Chinese name if possible.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll give it like an English name based on the Chinese name, like you do with Monkey Valley or something.
Yeah, the translation sort of, yeah.
But that's like informational too.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, I'd say most of the time it's like an English name that's based on something about it in Chinese.
Right.
But like with Mao Feng, there's not really like a great translation for Mao Feng. It literally means like furry peak, right? Which doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't. Yeah, and I think that has really nothing to do with why anything about the tea. Yeah, no, it's not. And I mean, it's from Shishien, but I don't know what Shishien translates to. Probably nothing very. I like giving English names to stuff because it helps the people connect. It's one thing to be like Hogu, but then you see Monkey Valley. Oh, okay, Monkey Valley.
Right.
But luckily, Monkey Valley is the direct translation of Hogu. It's a very clear name.
Right.
Yeah, so
but people might not understand that's the name. It's more the name of the place than the name of the tea.
Yeah, and that's.
You could call it like Monkey Valley Mao Feng or something.
Monkey Valley. It does have a nice little ring to it, actually. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think for the Monkey Valley, I'm also getting I'm kind of writing that monkey picked, monkey this, like all that stuff. They're like, oh, monkeys, and like I think a lot of Western people has made this connection with monkeys and tea, even if they shouldn't. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, of course, like a golden monkey.
Golden monkey, yeah. Oh man.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
So when you're steeping these Mao Feng green teas, what can you put a number on the water temperature that you normally use, or you just have a sense of it?
I touch. It's not a number, but it's not like magical Tea where I just have I kind of have a sense by now, but it's you take the Gong Dao Bei and you put your finger to it, and it should be a temperature where your finger is uncomfortable. This is not. It's uncomfortable, but you can keep it there for a few seconds. Like right now, if I touch it, like that's hot. Yeah, I don't want to do that. That's actually that's been sitting there for a little bit. That's not quite. I kind of have to snap it away like shit. It's that second where you can kind of I don't like that. It's that second.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. What you got to be a little careful of, and I see it especially on your Gong Dao Bei, but I've done on this one. You want to touch where the water is. You don't want to feel on the top, because what I used to do, I used to feel up here, but that's not a good reflection. You need to be where the water is. Motherfucker.
Right. I say I have this really nice like temperature adjustable tea pot that I've had for a while. I find that the point at which it's uncomfortable is like between 80 and 85 Celsius.
Which is about, so, that's generally.
Yeah. I try not to use like too many scales and thermometers and stuff like that, but since I have it, I might as well.
And it's helpful to people.
To like know what temperature is good.
So, yeah. And I know and people do ask for, people do like the much more, standardized, they're not like variable controlled. So it's good to have numbers for when people ask.
Yeah. At least as a starting point for them.
Yeah. Which is actually why, on that same, kind of going back to Gaiwans, why I do want to start getting a little more comfortable with Gaiwans, is because a lot of people use Gaiwans. And a lot of questions I get asked are, okay, in the Gaiwan, how much? And I'm like, actually, I want to be able to answer. I want to be able to.
Yeah. Well, I've been steeping this tea in the Gaiwan, and I find, I don't know what it would be in grams, probably like between 5 and 8 grams.
Okay.
But for this tea, like, I find that it's very, like, the leaf is very light. So I wasn't using like a large volume of the leaf before.
Yeah.
And the tea soup was just like very light. So I found that when I started using just like about double what I normally would for green tea, that's when I started to taste like really thick and buttery and really nice.
I'm going to respond to Luke Waynes real quick. Luke, right now, me and Golden Mountain Tea are drinking the same tea. I don't know if you have this tea. I would love to do another. We can do another one later, but I think, if you have the tea, then maybe. But we're about to get into a specific tea conversation here. All right. What? Okay. So that's hot. All right. So what were your?
So yeah, I guess in the Gaiwan, I've had good results using like a larger amount of leaf and then steeping it for maybe like a minute.
Okay. And what would you say would between doing the Gaiwan and doing the Gong Dao Bei? What kind of flavor differences? What kind of experience differences do you see?
Well, actually, I haven't really steeped this one in the Gong Dao Bei yet. So how about we do it right now?
Hell yeah! Because I think
The Feng twin you sent me,
Yeah.
I found the texture to be really like rich and buttery when I did it in the Gong Dao Bei. Where it's like I don't know if you call it the body of the tea, but
yeah,
it was like you got that kind of more thick butteriness to it.
that and if we think about the same thing, that is Mount Feng to me. You know, all the time I talk about the body of Mount. That's the body, that thick, buttery. And did you not so much find that in the? You didn't. Okay, now I'm gonna go. See, now I can kind of hold it there. Still not comfortable, but yeah.
Yeah. Let me reheat this water. My issue is that I only have one Gong Dao Bei, so
Okay.
I gotta pour right in the tea kettle.
Oh, that's a ballsy move. I've done that before. Do you have a glass, like a drinking glass?
I do.
Because that might be if you put the tea leaves in a drinking glass.
Yeah, I could just brew it in a glass, but I've been just
Doing it up
making it
there.
in the Gong Dao Bei and then pouring it into this.
Hell
Do you
yeah.
think that's all right?
Yeah, no, it's do you? Yeah.
Okay. I know exactly what temperature the water is. I'm going to use like 85 Celsius.
Cool. I'm gonna just pop this up on a random thing on my table.
This is just to heat up the Gong Dao Bei so it doesn't lose heat like immediately.
That's when it comes. So I think there's general Gong Dao Bei-ness. You know, general steep times, general water temperatures. But I think once you really get into the Gong Dao Bei, you can start. I've gotten to the point where like I'm looking at how thick is my Gong Dao Bei, because the thicker ones will maintain the water, the temperature. The thinner ones will disperse temperature, which.
Right.
And then also what you're gonna, and then this is for all greens, but okay, you have that general 85. But if you have a Ho Kui and a Bilo Chun, the Ho Kui, bigger leaves, stronger, is going to want higher temperature. The Bilo Chun is going to want lower temperature. But that, I think, is experience. Because once again, if you hit the 85 on both, you're going to be okay. Like, you're not going to ruin the tea.
Yeah, actually, when I had some really good Bilo Chun last summer, and when I would make that, I would use water temperature like even lower, like 70.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about tiny little buds.
Yeah. But I'm actually really looking forward to trying some of the Ho Kui that you have.
That is going to be. I have it here next to me. I got to do 2 more tastings before I do a final decision on how I'm going to offer it. You know, I have 2 Ho Kuis, so maybe I'll offer them as a side-by-side as like for like break-even prices, just so I get some of the money back. But hopefully, because that's the thing, especially for Ho Kui, it's not going to be cheap. I think I've talked about this. And it's not going to be cheap. And
yeah, I remember you saying something about that.
So,
but I mean, you gotta make a little profit, you know. But I guess the issue is just that people are going to be asking like, "Hey, why is this tea so expensive?" Right?
Yeah, and it's. I think it's a little bit of. I guess we'll call it my. I want my teas to give value. You know, it's not if they drink a tea and they're like, okay, that's not really what I want. You know, call it a brand, if you will. And so, I think I'm afraid if I sell this one Ho Kui by itself, people will be like, yeah, okay, it was good. It was, you know, but it won't be like they won't be like, huh, interesting, or like, whoa, or yeah. That's
I go for that too, because unless it's like that immediate like, whoa, you know, when like I'll serve people a cup of tea, even people who don't drink tea at all, and they'll just be like, whoa, like it's unless it's that, it's kind of hard to tell whether they're like being polite and they're like, yeah, it's good, or
and especially these
best just to go for the whoa.
Yeah, especially these days where there's a good number of Chinese tea sellers. You know, you have Mei Leaf, 7 Cups, yada yada yada. You know, and they all have good ho kueis. You know, a decent ho kuei. I don't think it's too hard to find. You might have to do a little bit of searching, but it's not going to be too hard to find. And so I think my thing is that, like, okay, you can already get a normal ho kuei. Let me offer that whoa ho kuei. Let me offer that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let me get my little bamboo tongs and then the water, and then I'm gonna steep this tea.
Do it.
I'm way behind.
All right. Let's see. Thoughts on the Gongda Bay with a built-in glass filter? All about it. Speaking from someone who just got some tea leaves in his tea, no problem with that whatsoever. No problems with that whatsoever. At all.
All right. You see my little dog tea pet, by the way?
Kind of. Lift him. Can you lift him up a little bit?
I've never really been into tea.
And now you're covering the microphone, I think. That is cute. I love that. Oh, I think your finger is covering the microphone.
Oh, yeah. I got it from a guy called Terracotta Arms on Instagram. He's from Ukraine, actually.
I've seen him, yeah.
And yeah, it gets darker as you pour tea on it.
That's awesome.
I'm like Chinese Zero the dog, so.
Oh, nice.
It's the first tea pet I've really done. I wasn't really into it before. Oh, no way. Hey, Luke just actually bought some tea from me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thanks a lot, Luke.
I saw that
appreciate it.
Gong Fu Ma also bought some tea from you.
Who's that? Oh, Gong Fu Ma.
Gong Fu Ma.
Yeah, Fahad.
Fahad, yeah.
It looks like he's bought quite a few of your teas as well.
This man buys tea from everybody. Like, and it's actually really cool. I like looking at his Instagram because he's like, liquid produce, this guy, like, boom. He buys teas from everyone.
He's like the guardian angel of the tea world.
I feel like if he kept this up, I think he could have some really good insights into like who has the best what, who, like, if you want this, go there, if you want this, go there. I think
Hey, well, let me ask you this. Who you have like this quote on your website which is calling which is calling my housemates here. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, who was the one who said that your tea is like the sweetest dew from heaven?
So that is Lu Yu. That is Lu. No one said that about my tea, unfortunately.
Got it.
Good tea is like the sweetest dew from heaven is a quote from the classics of tea.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, let me get your opinion. Do you think this is enough, or should I put a little more?
You can do a little. I think that's a decent amount. I think that's pretty good. Going more.
Work, but let me just do.
Yeah, I think I went a little heavy today. So. Ooh.
I think overall, the Maofengs that I've tried from you, compared to some of the other green teas from other provinces I've been drinking, they're like on the lighter side, especially compared to like oolong teas, you know.
Oh no.
So that's why I like to use more leaf and then steep it for a little bit longer to get that like buttery richness.
Yep. And that's very interesting. Kind of going back to tailoring your steep times for your tea. Once you kind of understand the flavors of Maofeng, you can do that. Okay, let me do a little more leaf. Let me do a little longer. I think what's interesting about Maofeng, though, it's a light tea. It should have that thickness. I think Maofeng. Have you ever grandpa styled Maofeng?
I have not. I grandpa styled a Yunnan Maofeng, which I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
This tea tasted like nothing. But I will grandpa style this tea before long.
It holds up really, really well in Feng, in grandpa style.
Right.
Because it doesn't, because the flavors are so light, it doesn't become overly bearing. But but what gets more intense is that sugariness, is that savoriness, is that doing to it.
Yeah.
Mm.
The aroma of the steeping leaves is really nice.
Oh yeah.
It smells a little bit like bamboo. Like I was watching your live stream and you were talking about that flavor, and I was like, wow, I can't wait to experience that. And I'm definitely getting it right now.
You spent time in China, right?
I have, yeah. I used to actually teach English at like this English summer camp.
Okay.
My first time going there was in 2007.
Okay, wow.
And so I think actually it was that year, or maybe 2008, that I went to Huangshan.
Okay, oh, nice. So you have an idea of bamboo. Have you ever eaten bamboo? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, like I've had it in ramen.
Yeah,
like little chopped up bits.
And because I mean, where I am in Huangshan, bamboo is one of they eat a lot of bamboo. Well, not a lot, but there's a little bit here that you can. Yeah. Anyway, they have like winter bamboo, spring bamboo. So when I say bamboo, I understand what that means. I am like, okay, bamboo. But I'm always worried it's one of those flavor notes that if you've never had bamboo, you're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, like if you grew up in America,
you've never had bamboo.
American Chinese food doesn't really have a ton of bamboo in it. I've never really encountered that so much.
Yeah, which is I mean, and to the point where, like, even I still look at bamboo and I'm like, who was the first person who ate this? Like, who said, okay, take this like wood-like thing and let's eat this?
Right. Well, I'm not sure what nutrients it has, but it's basically good for everything, right? So they probably just figured, hey, it's good for everything else. Why not eat it too?
Yeah, I mean, well, the other option, which is also a good possibility if you know Chinese history, they were like, well, there is nothing else to eat. It's this or nothing. Yeah.
Maybe 50 or 60 years ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they've been,
So, I'm starting to pour this off.
Okay.
My tea senses are telling me it's about time.
Do it.
And actually, it's gotten pretty thick.
And so, yeah, that first steep, what you're looking for is it just loses that dry look. It starts to open up. It starts to thicken up.
Right.
Yeah.
I probably used a tiny bit too much leaf.
Looked like it, not gonna lie.
But it's good. It's getting the bamboo flavor too, which I like.
And that's kind of what I was going at before with the Feng. You have because the flavors are naturally so subtle, it's harder to oversteep.
Yes, definitely.
So I think
this is definitely the strongest brew of this tea I've made so far. But I'm loving it.
I think the one you're drinking is.
It is thick, man.
It is, yeah. It's so, and I think, and I got to. There is a decent amount of handmade in this tea.
Okay.
I am not 100%, like the 100% handmade Shishian is 100%, everything. I don't know if that, they said handmade, but there's a little place in me who's just like, I don't, maybe it was hand stir fried, but then this was done in the machine, or this was done.
Right. Right. Or like with oolongs, they'll consider it handmade, even though they're using like the machine for rolling and stuff.
My water was a little too hot. This should be the third steep. I fucked up a little bit.
Okay, I got my second one going here.
Cool.
Yeah, like I put enough leaf in to fill like the whole going down bay, basically. Same thing.
The party. And that's the interesting thing about. I mean, that's the annoying thing about what will happen. You'll get tea makers who will, if they do one step by hand, they're called the whole tea handmade.
Right.
You know, they did this one thing and then they put it through
That's
3 machines.
marketing for you.
That's and it's what I keep talking about, the Hokui, like, and that's but then when it was funny on the Hokui post, a friend was like, "Damn those machines," and I was like, "Well, the machines are why they're affordable. You know, if every tea was 100% handmade, the prices would be ridiculous."
Yeah, exactly. I've heard. Well, I don't need to talk about this in depth, but it's just like looking at the leaves of this tea. It's like it doesn't have that perfectly homogeneous, like needle-looking thing, as if like it was just like put on a conveyor belt.
Oh no,
It's got that more like wiry,
twisted, ugly,
twisted. I mean, to me, it's beautiful.
Yeah, right. But
to me, like the homogeneous shit is more.
Well, that's.
It doesn't look all standardized and like homogenized and stuff. Which those are the kind of teas that I'm trying to get my hands on.
Going on oolong drunk. Yeah, well, and that's it's funny because so first thing, I mean, and this is the reason I don't really like the translation of Mao Feng, the direct translation, because Mao Feng, what it means for a tea is that there was no shape making step. You know, there was no rolling, there was no flattening, there was no.
I see.
Yeah.
So like Mao means hairy.
Yeah.
Or hair, right?
Hair.
So,
oh no, it's
yeah, that's the way I've always interpreted it, which is like the tea is kind of like hairy looking, you know, like.
Well, here's the thing: it translates into hairy peak, you know, but the name doesn't have a direct. You know, it's like Bilotun. Yeah, Bilotun means green snail spring, but that doesn't say anything about what the tea is.
Right.
But when you look at like Chimen Mao Feng is black tea. It doesn't have to use the same cultivar, but there's no shape making step.
Right.
And so so that's why you get these shapes in Mao Feng. That's why you don't want those doom doom doom. And it's funny, the reason I call it ugly is because at least in Twin Shi and Huangshan, that's what they'll say. They're like, no, the ugly Mao Fengs are the best Mao Fengs. Like that's the
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I fully agree with that. I mean, hey, this tea and the other food you sent me are like my first actual Mao Feng experience.
And so
I might have had one or two like at some tea shop somewhere, but I don't remember. So.
And I think this is interesting. But when you messaged me, you clearly you've been to Huangshan, but you knew the name Mao Feng, you knew the reputation of Mao Feng.
Right.
And I find that
just through the appearance, I had like an idea of what it might taste like, and I was really interested in it.
I think that's where a lot of people are. I think that's where a lot of people are when it comes to Mao Feng.
Yeah.
And I think
it was basically like in like the back of my mind that like when I have a chance to try a good Mao Feng, I want to do it good. And so I tried this like Yunnan Mao Feng, and it was like I would have loved. I think I took it officially off my website today. I would have loved for it to be good, but I just could not justify selling it to people or drinking it myself, really.
And man, and here's the thing about Yunnan. I mean, Yunnan and Sichuan and other provinces have good. They have good soil, and they have a lot of land. They have a lot of space, and so Yunnan grows fucking everything: tea, flour, coffee, like Yunnan. And so everyone's there making something, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean it's going to be good.
Right. Well, not everyone can be drinking the good stuff.
Yeah, and that's my worry is though. And then what I think about then is the people, and then Mao Feng is one of these teas, and I've talked about this before a lot too. The difference.
Yeah.
There's a subtle tea. There's teas that are subtle, and there's teas that are let me explain this. There are teas that are light, and there are teas that have no flavor. And
that's subtlety, you said?
Yeah, subtlety. So Maofeng is light. It's subtle, but you still need that flavor. But I think a lot of tea sellers, especially if you're a tea seller and you know Maofeng and you want to sell Maofeng, you've never really had Maofeng, and somebody told you, oh, it's a very light tea. You try a Maofeng and it has no flavor, but you don't know that because you've just it's just light, it's subtle, and you don't know that distinction between having no flavor and being light. And I think white tea can fall into that same trap a lot of the times. I've had a lot of Bai Mudans and Silvanitos that just had no flavor, and I think it's why it's important to really understand teas as a seller.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I'm just doing my best to get there.
No, you're doing. I mean, you did good. No, I'm still good. I'm there with one tea, and that's the kind of thing. I am planning my move out of Huangshan into other parts of China, and
yeah, I heard you talking about that.
Yeah, and things got a little complex. I had my out, and then something happened, and things are getting delayed, and it's visa stuff basically.
You said you were planning on moving to Luan.
Originally the plan was Luan. What's actually looking like is Enshi.
Enshi.
Yeah, with Alex from One River Tea.
Got it.
Yeah.
So the plan is to live together with him?
Not so much together, but he's basically he's
in the same city.
Same city, yeah. He's introducing me to people, and he's getting me the job, and this and that, and he's getting me.
Nice.
And the nice thing about that, and there's two benefits. The reason I'm picking that over Luan is, first of all, the schedule will be lighter. So I'll still focus on the local teas, which is going to be really. There is a lot of local opportunities. I don't know I don't know how much I don't think Alex posts on Instagram as much as Derek, but Alex just rented a plot of land with tea bushes, and so Alex is taking care of tea trees and making tea.
No way.
Yeah, no, he's getting that.
So this is land that there aren't already people farming it.
No.
So he's taking. Wow, that's pretty heavy.
They needed to.
A foreigner taking on a tea farmer role. That's pretty crazy.
He needed to bushwhack to get to part of his fields. He sent me a video of him and his girlfriend bushwhacking to get to the field. No, it's aging.
That's crazy.
A house in outside the city, small village. The kids moved into the city. This house, no one lived there for a bunch of years. I think they're installing the electricity sort of thing. And there's a lot of things there, especially when you have 3 dogs. Space for the dogs. But it will also still allow me enough time to go to Luan, to go to Jingdezhen.
Nice.
A more open schedule, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I was going to ask if you're still if you're pursuing another job more, or if you want, or if you're still planning on focusing on the teas. But that's good to hear.
Oh, it's always going to be the teas. It's always going to be the teas.
That's great, man. I'm in a little similar situation myself. I'm still trying to figure out how much time I want to devote to, sharing tea with people, what other way, and then if I want to get another job here or anything. So
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right now, tea doesn't pay my bills, and that's the.
Yeah, same here. That's the thing.
Yeah, and especially the reason I can buy teas and not sell them. The reason I can buy a tea and say no, I don't want to put this on the website is because I have this job that allows me to have that pickiness.
Right.
Hopefully one day I can be more specific. I can not spend time at a job. But that's the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, assuming I continue with this, I can see if I can help your tea business grow in some way. We'll see.
I mean, my thing, I would like the culture to. My idea, the way I see it, if the culture gets bigger, if the market gets bigger, I'm naturally going to benefit.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If you do good, that's gonna help me do good. If that guy does good, it's gonna help me do good.
Yeah.
Especially
I feel you 100% on that. And another thing I feel is like there are a lot of people I see selling teas that I'm really interested in and think they're really good. So it's not I tend not to want to like get that same kind of tea and try to offer it on my side, at least if it's not as good as of a version.
Yeah.
I want to find some way of like directing people to just where they can find the best tea of any given like category, you know?
Yeah. And that, because here's the other thing.
I don't really know what my thesis is here. I'm starting to feel this tea a little bit.
Nice. The other thing, and nobody knows, I see your question, we'll get to it in a second. The other thing to remember as tea sellers, especially in the market, tea, and especially in the Western market, people are buying from more than one tea shop. You know,
absolutely.
Gong Fu Ma is a perfect example. That man has purchased quite a bit of tea from me, but quite a bit of tea from everyone else. You know, so I don't think there's this idea. I don't really see other people as competition. You know, it's not, oh, if he buys from you, he's not going to buy from me. So once again, if you have good tea and I have good tea, we both win.
It's really about the tea.
It's really about the tea. I'm going to respond to Gong Fu. Nobody knows. Yeah, nobody knows. We talked about that a little bit. I don't know if you were here. People know the name Mao Feng, but they've never really experienced it too much. And I think, you know, I never say that any tea that I sell is going to be your favorite tea. You know, I'm never going to be like, oh, this is the greatest tea ever. I never use greatest. I never use best. Because I think that's just setting yourself up for failure. Like if you walk around like I have the best tea, it takes two people to be like, no, this is not the best tea. Like this guy has better ones, and then that's your shot.
Right. They're just like, oh, really?
Yeah. You don't oversell yourself. Just be like, hey, I have this tea. This is what it is. This is what it tastes like. And so I think, and I'm not. So some people are gonna taste Mao Feng and they're gonna be like, hey, I like a stronger tea. I like I like this. I like that. But I do think good Mao Feng has a lot of interesting things to offer. Has a lot of uniqueness. Has a lot of the body, the way it grandpa styles, the look. So I am excited for people to get in. I am going to respond.
I mean, the dry leaves is like almost word.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to respond to this other one really quick. Nobody knows. Had another question. Weren't you floating the idea of going to Anxi? One day I will go to Anxi. I will go to Anxi one day. That is before I leave China. I will live in Anxi. But Anxi's visa stuff, finding a job. You know, it's when you live in China and you teach in China. I can't really just go work at McDonald's in Anxi. You know, I need to find a job, and I need to find a job that can hire foreigners. And so,
have you been teaching English there?
I've been teaching English there. Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
yeah, I had a lot of friends actually. So I went to China in 2017. I was kind of having a rough time here in America, still being young and everything. So I went to China and like did a little English teaching, but then decided it was best to come back. But I still have a lot of friends who are teaching English over there. It's fun, you know. Meet a lot of really, really cool kids. And I really love teaching in the summer when I was doing that.
And I've kind of thought about every now and then ways to talk about the English teaching experience without taking away too much from the tea. There's a lot of different levels to teaching English here. You know, there are some places where you go in and you're just like the white face. And you're like, banana, apple, cucumber. Okay, goodbye. See you tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes.
And some people,
I had a job like that.
some people, that's all they want. You know, gives them the visa, gives them a little bit of money.
It's kind of sad, actually, but
it's a little.
You know, if you need a few bucks.
Yeah. Where I work is a little more than that. You know, they give me a book. There's a curriculum, but I plan my lessons. You know, at the end of the semester, they take a test, and if they don't do good on the test, somebody's going to come to me. Why didn't your kids do good? But it's still relaxed. There still is, you know, and then you get language level, and then you get, you know, really paperwork, and they're very, very strict. But that's, you make a good day. You make a pretty penny at those jobs.
Yeah. I stayed in Shanghai for a little while, actually, in a hostel, and I came across like a lot of different people with a lot of different English teaching jobs.
Yeah.
And I did a little like freelance here and there, but yeah, there are a lot of different levels.
And there's, you know, that's the other thing. Like China, I always thought like, if you've never been to China, you don't really understand China. There's just like these ideas people have about China. Like there's no idea that accounts for all of China. Like this idea that like Chinese people eat noodles. Well, actually, no. In the South they eat rice, and in the North they eat noodles. Or like Chinese people do this. Like actually, no, they just do this. They do something else.
Hey, let me get my water. I'll be right back.
Yeah. You know, but nobody knows. Anshi, I did find an Anshi school actually. There was a minute where it looked like Ensure was going to fall through, so I started asking questions to other places, and I was able to find an Anshi school, but Ensure started looking strong again, and so I'll go with Ensure. I want to see what Ensure is like, you know. Because you know,
where is Ensure? Is it in Anhui province?
Hubei, which is Wuhan. Wuhan is in Hubei.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So that's.
I don't think I've been there before, actually. No Hubei.
You know, it was funny. I was a little, because there's visa there was visa troubles, you know, for a while, and it still is, but I think we're coming to ideas. But there was hoops I was having to jump through to get the paperwork and this and that. And I was kind of being like, yeah, maybe I won't go to Ensure, yada yada. But then I went down for a weekend, and it was gorgeous. You know, he's gone. All right, hold on. Visited a friend studying 2 years ago and got introduced to Tiva there, and went from visiting Anshi on the weekend in Qingming Station. Uh-oh.
There we go. Sorry, man, I exited out by accident.
That's okay. It was a canceled.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last thing I caught you saying was.
Uh-oh. Oh no! Is this me? This might be me. Okay, I'm gonna go. Is that me or you? So I have a little. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. The last thing you heard me say
was that Ensure was gorgeous.
Oh my God, it was.
And I was gonna say I saw in a One River Tea, like they had this like tea production facility that looked like a greenhouse, like in the middle of this like lush, valley is incredible.
It's incredible. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
when I think about China, I really do miss those just really, I mean, picturesque. The word picturesque doesn't even do justice to it. It's astonishing.
All right, let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna. Sometimes getting notifications from other apps kicks you off as a guest on Instagram Live. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to dismiss one of the other notifications, and I ended up clicking on it by accident.
And then let's see. Visited Finsington and was it canceled? Well, and so, okay, so now they've got me thinking about Anxi. So I do want to talk about Anxi for a little bit.
For sure.
Anxi, oh my God. Anxi, so here, actually, let's talk about, and this Anxi gets into, and just tea regions in general. Okay, so you go to Anxi, and you can basically apply this to any tea region. Anxi, Qian, Kunming, most of them. Okay, you take a bus, you go to Anxi, and you are in the main city. You go to Qimen, you are in the main city. But then from there, and this is where tea sourcing gets tricky, especially if you don't have a car. You go to the city, but then you have to go to the villages. And it's from that, and like Anxi has, I think, 108 tea producing villages. And once again, 108 is a tea number, so they might have fudged some numbers there. But oh man, Anxi, going to each village though, hitting the villages is just like something else. Something else. Oof. Yeah. It's been a while. It's been a while since I hit a village. So I'm missing it a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah. I do kind of have this fantasy of being in China and doing what you're doing, but I just like where I'm living so much right now. It's hard to choose.
Yeah.
But we're here for now. There's COVID, so we'll just stick with this for now.
And there's, I mean.
But I guess I'm living vicariously through you, and One River Tea, seeing all these cool places.
These days, I'm so busy. I'm also living through One River Tea. And that's the thing, China. I think coming to China is a jump, especially if you don't speak Chinese, and it's not. It's a little more, it's social media. So One River Tea and I will show the videos of us in the fields and us doing this, and oh yeah, springtime in the tea fields. But then we don't show wintertime as much. We don't show the rest of the year. We don't show, the 2 buses that it took to get to that tea field, and there's no bus on the way back.
Or the day when you're in the bank and you're trying to give them all your numbers and none of them were working.
Yep, and they don't understand. Your Chinese is not that good, and yeah. I mean, it's not. It's worth it at times, but it's not all sunshines and rainbows. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I feel you. I have a friend living in Chengdu right now, and I stayed with him for a couple months, and it's like so many just logistical issues as a foreigner living in these places where not a lot of foreigners are living.
And that's and even Chengdu, like they have a decent amount of foreigners. There are times where me and my coworkers have to go to a police station to get something done here in Twinxi. Oh, they have no idea how the fuck to do it. We're like, hey, we need a background check for a foreigner. And they go, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, what? This is
like I've never done that before.
Never done that before, yeah. Yeah, no. But learning the language helps a lot. As I start to learn the language, that helps a lot. And that it just helps you get to know the people and meet the people, get to really become immersed.
So I'm like on the third steep of the tea,
Yeah.
and I'm still getting like a really nice, thick bamboo flavor. It's really nice.
So I think the one I have is the one you're drinking now is better than the one I'm drinking now. I think I got the picking after you. So I'm getting that bamboo, but I'm getting the vegetalness is a little stronger here. And this is something you see for Feng's and any green tea, but as the season gets on, as the season gets on, you lose some of that soft bamboo, yada yada yada, and the vegetalness kind of trades off, and it gets more vegetal. It should never get too
Not
vegetal
to get
though.
too pretentious here, but like what kind of